All right. Hey, welcome back to Happy Little Note Trees. Today we are kind of walking through a tooltip. Colin Kelly released his Contour plugin to the open public. You can get the link in the description to where you can get a trial version or a paid version. This video isn't sponsored in any sort of way. I paid for it a while ago and I love it and I use it in a previous video, linked above or below or anywhere that you do that on YouTube. I don't know. Uh, you can see where we talked about how your DRT is the most important creative choice you're going to make because everything you do underneath that color space transform is going to be modified by that color space transform or a DRT or JP249. Uh, and so we're just looking at this chips plot here, and yeah, that's fancy dancy. Ugh. Ooh. So we're going to just drop this out. We're going to stick with this stock CST of OpenDRT and leave it kind of like this. As you saw in the previous video, talked about how it's really making no modifications to, like we reload this, you can see it's doing stuff to how our colors plot on the chart. It makes nice swoops, makes nice little swoopies. So you can make changes. And so we made those changes, and now they're straight lines. Red is red, green is green, blue is blue, which means when we make changes to contour, those changes are the changes that we want to see. So if we were down here in the hue section, when we change out the hues, you can see the changes we're making in the hue section are not being controlled by here. Because like if we went like this and went, oh, let's go crazy and just sweep everything around, and then we can go like this. We'll just go set up a layer and just copy this size over and paste this here. And then just reload this DRT here. You can see here, so this is stock. You can see that's the changes that our contour shifts in hue down here actually did. But if we pipe those same shifts through the stock version of OpenDRT, we're pretty much curbing a lot of the effects that we put in. And so we're losing that effect of how far we can push contour by putting it through the curbs of JP2499. That's the previous video talking about how the DRTs work. Anyways, so this is a good way to just kind of compare and contrast the two side by side. We can turn the chips off now. I don't really need that. Let's look at the pretty girl. That's what she came here for, right? Yeah, so that's stock OpenDRT down here. We can just call that node label stock, just so we don't forget. We can always refer back to that chips plot, but right now when it's on it, that's our stock. That's just so. This is uncontrol, neutral. There we go. And yeah, we're gonna make a shift there and we're kind of cooking along. So yeah, let's just reset this to its baseline settings. Here we go. And yeah, first module that we're looking at is contrast. How do we draw that curve? And what are the features that we have in drawing that curve? And so these are set up in the most way in which biggest bang for your buck. So if you have limited time to make a really good look, biggest bang for your buck, but it's not necessarily how the math works under the hood. And I'm not smart enough to explain all that. There is, if you buy the plugin, a 2-day, 8-hour course explaining all that comes with it. But anyways, contrast curve, just kind of, you can kind of just tweak this. You want to pop that and make that punchy. Bam, punchy. And the really cool thing is you can now draw up your black point, and that is, it's showing you, if you put the contrast curve button up there, right there, it's tracked to your panel, so you can kind of make the changes right with the panel. Kind of just tweak it, bring that black point out, maybe adjust the toe length. So you're just drawing what this curve is that comes in. And you can see, that's nice, it's popping. The whites are a little high, that we can bring that down. Preserve color kind of does a really cool thing where, you can keep the colors instead of bleaching them out as the contrast gets high, or you can roll them off and kind of get that more bleachy effect. But it's kind of however you want to draw, and you can see the changes that we're making right there. and that's really cool. But remember, like we just said, DRT, CST matters. Different. So this is neutral. This is just pushing it as far as we want. This stock CSTs kind of start curbing some of those effects and say, no, 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 you can't go that far. You can't do that. So yeah, kind of just pushing it. Maybe going too far. I don't know. You always dial it back if you want. Put it where you want. Make it be the thing you want to see. Anyways, there are a lot of cool things. I use the contrast curve all the time. That's probably the one tool that I feel like there isn't another tool that's kind of cool to play with. There isn't another way of doing things. This contrast curve, you could draw it in your plots and do your own contrast curve in a node. Cool. This does it really cleanly, really easily, and shows you exactly what you have going on. And you can draw your black point up, you can draw it down, and it is very gentle. It shows you exactly how things are going. And it's nice. I like it. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I use it all the time. Previous to this, there was a DCTL by Colin Kelly called BaseCon, and then his high-low trims kind of did the same thing, but that was like 3 nodes. I still use those sometimes if I need a little contrast tweak somewhere else in the stream, but at the top end of my look dev, this is set that curve, set that. We're going to work. Everything you do else is underneath this at the shot level, clip level, group level, all that. This is your massive macro look of what you're going to do to all your clips. Anyways, we're going to cut here, but I'm going to take a second, kind of walking through the features of contour. There was a previous video, and there will be another video as we go and talk about my next favorite module. So we're going to go right here and go, but hit the links, like, subscribe, do those other things, watch the next video, watch the previous video. This is a really cool plugin. It's worth taking the time to understand what it has going on. And then there's links in the description. So that's fun right there.